following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Good afternoon, all, and welcome to the continued coverage of T5 Apocalyptic August here for the 2025 MRE Uno Tournament. We are into the regional semi-finals, the Swarm 16, and now we hunker down in the bunker region as we get set for the matchup here today, Vapor versus Clay. This is going to be a good one here. If you're just joining us, we were supposed to be underway at noon. We had our first of 4 games run a little bit long here, so a little bit delayed start here for this one, but getting ready for what should be a great matchup nonetheless. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape of these two coming into this one. Of course, for Clay, he's coming off that victory here in T4 as he was able to take Jackpot June. He comes in as the #1 seed here in the bunker region. A 4-1 victory over Brian in the Toxic 32. He, of course, had the bye back during the Scorch 64 and comes with impressive 4-3 record here in the round of 16 career-wise. On the veteran side here, 8-5 here in T5 for Clay. He comes in the 12 seed and he's been able to take down some pretty high-seeded opponents. It was the #5 seed William Brock that he defeated in the final game 7, 4-3 in the Scorch 64, and then was able to take down KT in the Toxic 32. KT, the #2 seed in this region, he defeated him in a 4-2 victory. He's 2-2 of batting 500 here in the round of 16 as he looks to take down yet another high-seeded individual here in the bunker region. Should be an interesting matchup in this one. The goal is to move on to the Explosive 8, in which the winner of this will take on either the winner, Captain or Yoshi, in the matchup tomorrow. That'll be taking place at 10 o'clock Eastern in the morning. We'll see who's going to be taking that next step here towards advancing their way in this round. Of course, Vapor already locked into the Super League with his victory here in this most recent T4. Still an opportunity for Clay to make his way in, a Super League chance of 65% if he's able to win this series. However, it's a pretty slim chance of him advancing if he ends up losing out here. So a lot still to be able to play for. And of course, as mentioned, we ended up having our first matchup of the day, Tapir versus Cody Lamas. That went into the limit of 9 games. We ended up having over an hour of play in the zombie region. That delayed what was originally going to be a noon start time here for this matchup. Later on this afternoon at 3 o'clock, we're in the tunnel region with Myth versus Gone, and we close out with the tunnel region at 10 o'clock this evening. Nighttime action with Andy versus Christian Tago. That does it for the pre-game look here. We're now going to head down to the table. We've got Yoshi on the referee duties. DJ Curtis joins me on commentary. And DJ, we just got off a matchup there with Cody Lamas taking to the ultimate limit there. That matchup against Tapir. went into a best of 9. What are we looking at here? Do we look for an endurance battle between these two here as well? Because for Vapor, a lot of things have been going right for him in the closing stages of this 2025 season, but Clay's got himself some pretty good victories as well over some higher seeded opponents.
Yeah, I think I expect this game to be drawn out, kind of similar to that of the preceding one. I mean, there's gonna be 9 games, well, if needed, that is, right? So maybe minimum game 5, max game 9. We'll see how things pan out, though. 2 power plays in the books, though, so might have to change the play style just a little bit here, though. It seems like those, let's say you're a 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, it hasn't really gone in your favor, though. I mean, Vapor's done a real good job in this tournament so far. Clay, though, sitting as the 12th seed, though, I feel like when you got a seed like this, though, you really have not much to lose, in my opinion. Should be, like you said, a fun matchup in the makings, though. But yeah, I mean, those 2 power plays, though, I wonder what are you going to do with those exactly? Do you play it like you normally do, or do you have to be wary of when you want to use those?
On that previous matchup there with Tapir versus Cody, it was those power plays, the utilization, the timing of them were very, very interesting. So to your point, it'll be interesting to see them utilized in this one. Our scoreboard shows that they only have 1 power play, but they do have actually 2 power plays available to use here during the course of this best of 9. Both of our players are in our voice chat here. Vapor says he's going to be typing out questions here. Clay is here, so what we'll do, DJ, I'll let you take Clay. I'll just ask the question here for Vapor first, so he has the time to be able to type it out. Vapor, you're coming in with a lot of momentum. You're coming off that tournament victory back during Jackpot June. You come into this as the number 1 seed. You've been able to advance your way so far here into the Swarm 16. What is the goal here for someone that's coming in with a lot of that momentum here in the home stretch? You're locked into Super League, so is it just a matter of keeping that momentum up in preparation for Super League, or is there something else as well?
Yeah, and the same for you, Clay. What are your expectations coming in here? You're sitting as the 12th seed. You're going up against a 1 seed here. So, I mean, I think you probably want to go pretty far in this tournament. It would be rather a big understatement to say, though. But again, I noted those 2 power plays, though. What are your what are you going to do, especially with them? You're going to use them probably maybe mid game, more end game, near the end of the game. Like, what do you expect to? What do you think is that time is right kind of moment for those?
Well, it kind of feels like I have my back against the wall again, now that it's T5. I will say that I don't know what I'm going to do with the power play just yet, simply because it's been a long, long time since I've gotten to have more than 1.
Yeah.
Not since, I think, T5 way back in last time I went to the end. So, no plan. Flying by the seat of my pants here.
Just kind of see how things go, basically, is what I'm hearing.
We hear it more often than not, usually, DJ. 1 game at a time. So I think that's going to be the running theme here, especially in this one, especially in when to use the power play there. Vapor says that his goal is to keep pushing 100%, knowing no matter the result, he's in Super League, so he can push for another decent run to boost his resume as much as possible and get that coveted double bye. Yeah, I mean, boost the resume there for Vapor. I think that's going to be a bit of a running theme here for both of these individuals as well. We mentioned Clay's taking down the 5 seed. He's taking down the 2 seed here in the bunker region. If he can add taking down a 1 seed to his resume here, we end up talking about in terms of the ranking for Super League and everything, if you're able to take down some high-seeded individuals in your region during the course of the season, they take that into consideration here, and it's a leapfrog in percentage as well. 65% with a victory, 5% with a loss here for Clay. It's a do-or-die situation here. We'll see if he's going to be hungry like the wolf here in this best of 9. Vapor going to try and bring his Super League hopes. Maybe he'll try to vaporize them here. Man, I shouldn't be doing puns. Anyway, let's get off of the puns train here. Let's get into this thing. Vapor, by being the highest seed, he's going to get the first 2 homestands. Clay will get the next 2. Then it's 2 more for Vapor, 2 more for Clay. Vapor gets the final 9th game should we get to that point. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. Vapor, you've got this first call here in this best of 9. How are we kicking this off? Okay, we're going to kick it off with 14. So that's back-to-back series. We had the Tapir-Lamas matchup start out with a 14-card start as well. So we're doubling down here between the zombie to the bunker region.
I'll start off with a yellow 8. I've seen that so many times commentating.
I was going to say, there's our old friend, DJ.
It's a running joke at this rate whenever you and I are in the booth, Seth. Just a yellow 8 just always seems to start out or someone just gets stuck in it every time.
Yep.
I swear.
Well, fortunately, one of them's going to be gone here in the early going, at least. So we'll see what Vapor's going to do here on this initial start. 14-card start, so a lot of opportunity here for not only number efficiency at the beginning, but maybe getting some good ammo cards here to close it out at the end. We'll see how quickly these two delve into those ammo cards. It was interesting watching the Tapir versus Llamas matchup that wrapped up just moments ago. They didn't seem afraid on the return as far as ammo. We saw a lot of +2s fired off in the early going of those games.
Pretty brave to do that, I feel, really early. So we'll kind of just see how things go, really. Now, obviously, with this high card count, though, right? Card count, excuse me. I mean, numbers game's going to be the way to go.
Hey, remember another theme in that matchup we called last? All the light switching off the 4s. There they are. Trips 4.
It's just here we go.
Into the blue here. Oh, and Vapor
a draw,
iced
though.
Out immediately. 10-4 on the voice chat with Mike there, Vapor. As Clay going to be able to run in blue, puts it down there to the 0, hard to switch off of. And Clay finds
over
the
to
swap
green.
over off the 0. That's a rare
Vapor's got an answer.
There.
Playing real fast early on here, Seth. You notice how fast they're playing right now in this game 1, though. I expect the pace to slow down as the games kind of run down, though, but as of right now, though, lightning start on both ends, though. Both kind of have a pretty good game plan on what they want to do at the moment.
Yeah, trying to maybe put a finger on the pulse here of the tempo of this game. Try and see what kind of reads they can get in the early going. A bit of a feeling out process here as we'll run in red. Oh, Vapor
Here we go, wild.
To bail out there into the green with the utilization of the wild there. Let's see.
Is it an omen that he had no red, basically? If he had to swap over to green like that with a wild.
Yeah, Clay made the move over into red. Oh, but
how about
look at that.
Trips play, though?
Right into the hand of Clay. Stacks the +2s, ends on the Acosta yellow 9. Clay down to 4, but what was the return on those 6 freshies to Vapor is the question.
Yeah. Vapor could dab him up back. There it is.
Answers right back. Yeah.
And it was actually a green and a yellow +2 as well.
Man, that's again kind of shades
equivalent
of what we saw in
exchange.
the earlier matchup there. Cody and Tapir, they kept exchanging the exact same cards, had answers for answers there. As also, kind of point of note there, ended on the green 5. That iced out Clay. Clay now bailed out with the light switch over into yellow by Vapor, and now Vapor with the light switching over into blue. Very aggressive here on the light switching has been Vapor in this matchup here.
Yeah, and back over to yellow here. Clay's got an answer that time around.
Might have that poker type hand there if you're Vapor.
Might be.
Also gives you the opportunity for a number of fades here in case.
Back over to blue.
Clay
Look at
opens
that.
Up the door to a color he needs. Yep. Some more fading there by Vapor with another light switch. Again, to your point, the rapid fire by both these individuals here.
They are in that territory to maybe get some good runs here.
Oh,
Double
boy.
play from Clay, though, from a skip and a reverse on the blue side.
That's 6.
But it stops.
To the finish.
Well, let's see. Does Clay have anything? And Vapor says he's got nothing off of that. So unless Clay stops here,
no, he's got it. No,
that should be good.
Run.
Yeah,
wow.
That's easy money for him. Had all the reverse. Wow, look at that. Look at how many reverses he had here, Seth, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he had a +2 to top it all off. Phenomenal card run to the end, though.
He threw the +2s back at me.
I was about to ask where they I figured they were from those +2s, but I figured I'd ask, but you beat me to the punch there, so. Good old nice card run to the end there, Clay. Good momentum for game 1, though. I mean, hopefully that, I think for you in your case, you probably wanted to go to game 2 and onwards to make it very fast. So with that fast pace, though, was it just you just knowing what you wanted to do off the bat, having to pre-planning everything from that initial hand, or is just kind of going with the flow here?
Just going with the flow. I got lucky off of the draws when I actually had to self-draw
Gotcha.
as well. That's where most of my stuff came from.
Yeah, Vapor, obviously you said got nothing there off the stacked +2s, so I'm assuming not much in terms of ammunition. You know, when we ended up seeing you play the stacked +2s, was that a case of just at that time even not really having much to be able to work with, so you were trying to push Clay back a bit, give yourself some breathing space?
I mean, yeah, trying to give myself some room to breathe. I could have kept it in the yellow range, but yeah, I got off the +2. I got 6 numbers, so nothing to do there. I just had to try and extend the game as long as possible, but that's hard to do when he's got the finish in any color besides green. So
Definitely is. Well, Clay's going to take this first game here of this best of 9. However, opportunity for Vapor to be able to draw it back even. He's still got another homestand here, and he's going to go back to the well. He'll call on that 14 again. We haven't seen many individuals do this, DJ, where they end up losing their first game at home, and then they come back to that same number once again here. We'll see if Vapor now is going to maybe look at the tides to turn in his favor here with another high card start.
Yeah, and it quickly changes the color over to yellow, though, so it's just another aggressive color change off the bat, though. Gonna roll in it for the time being, Clay's just gonna go with the flow like he mentioned in game 1.
So keep that in mind. Fading off the blue. Do we see Vapor call back on that color near the close of this game here? Oh, there you go.
No, there it is.
There's the call back into the blue. Uses the wraparound with a double reverse out of green.
I feel like Clay is just going to run with it, though. Just going to get rid of the numbers off the bat, though. Save those action cards right near the very end, though. Maybe do a double play here and there, depending on the situation and based on your hand. But a color swap over to green here. I think Vapor will have an answer to that call.
Well, they used
And
the
he's
green
typing a bit.
reverse to wrap
Typing a
around
bit,
to the
though.
blues. So Clay's thinking that maybe that was the only green he had. Yeah,
And he's maybe been
he's
stalled
iced.
out. Yeah.
That was a good read there.
Good
by
read.
Clay.
What does Clay have? Just a number 6. Let's see if Vapor has to draw again. Will he have? Oh, wow, look at this.
Wow.
Was that off the draw? The real question now, Seth, was that off that draw? Was that a potential top deck?
Either that or maybe he was holding
He
on
saved
to
up.
it and found the red 2 or the red reverse for the connector to be able
Might
to
have been
put the
it.
3 together.
He is sitting now at 5 cards in contrast to Clay's 12, and it's dangerous territory here. Clay's got to play a little bit more defensive here, and there it is, +2 with a
check.
red 8 to follow on toe, so we'll stall out Vapor a little bit, at least in terms of maybe getting a potential run in, but let's see what he's got back. Nothing. Draws at the red 8.
Interesting there. You almost wonder if maybe that red 2 was his last red. Still iced out as Clay goes to the Tapir. It's interesting calling on that Tapir card there because this is game 2. It was game 2 in the Tapir-Lamas matchup that we saw our first power play utilized. We've got 2 of them available here. So if you want to hold on to one for later on in the game, you've got the luxury of maybe calling upon that first one here, even in the early first couple of games of this series.
Both of them having to draw this time around. They had gone for green for one moment, then went back over to red. So, and now back to green, right as I spoke of it.
Breaks them both out here.
Numbers game at the
here.
moment after
Yep.
some momentous action card usage here. Both just taking their time, minding their P's and Q's here. Still going at a very fast pace though, but it's just all numbers right at the moment.
Checking to see, I believe. Okay, no, we don't have a Pandora's box color. We've been in blue for only a spell. Now we're back into it here. So technically, I think this might be the Pandora's box color as we revisit it, and there you
Ripple
go. There's
play.
a trips play with the +2, so we'll give Vapor the possession advantage here, at least for the moment. One thing I've been noticing here out of Vapor, he's not been afraid to fire those ammo cards early.
Yeah, I think it's pretty commendable because it can work out in your favor if you don't get the right cards you want off of those +2s, maybe a +4. So you're pretty much toast. It leaves you pretty vulnerable for them to just, run away here. But a swap over to the color of yellow here. Does Clay have any action cards to at least keep this going? He will swap over to red, so this will be a good litmus test
That's
here.
an ISO. They
Could
were
be an
in
ISO
Draw
play.
City in red
Yeah.
earlier.
But does Vapor have any action cards in him? He did have to draw earlier. He will use power play very
look
early.
At that.
So this is ensuring that he's gonna take this set. So I like that use though. Very early though, that might be the only con. But if a win's a win though, you gotta take it while you still can, right? So you never know because sometimes, if it goes a bit further down the line, you're in deep jeopardy, right? You might look back at that, might be kicking yourself, saying, "Wow, I could have used that power play." And it's just one of those moments where you have to use it you have to use it if you know you can at least get that series settled in. Or really that set in this case.
And I'm not exactly certain. It may have been off the blue +2 where that red 5 came into play for Clay to be able to try and do the ISO just prior to Vapor doing the power play. But consider the fact here as well. I don't know how long he was sitting on. I'll ask him here. Vapor, how long were you holding on to that red +2? Because we saw you guys go into that Draw City in red. I'm assuming you were holding on to it for a connector. How long was that card in your possession?
It was all game.
Wow.
It was my topper. Like, if we go back to the start, I had, if we're talking ammo, I had wild +4, blue reverse, blue skip, blue +2, green reverse, green +2, red +2. But it would just never, the connection just never materialized. I had to use a lot of my +2s defensively. And I just never had the position to feel confident enough to finish the game with any of that ammo. So until the very end when I power played. So I just really needed to get on the board there because at 4 cards I could just sense he was close. When he went into red, he was down to 3. I just didn't want to waste that opportunity. So I decided it was the right time to use my power play there.
And for you, Clay, what did you have left before those obviously +2s and those power plays came into fruition? What did you have left in your deck? Could you had a run there to the very end?
No.
No.
I had
Okay.
number cards that entire game.
Wow.
So kind of similar to what we saw, just the roles reversed from the first game there. And yeah, Vapor right there. Yeah, also, the power play is flushed here. So Clay's got those 2 to call upon Vapor just the 1. And yeah, here's the thing too.
Yeah.
This is very similar to what we ended up having back in the other series where you don't know what's on the other side. You
Yeah.
can't predict the future. You have to go based off of what you're seeing there in the moment. So obviously the power play is flushed, but he comes out of the
So there's one
on
more
the winning
left.
side, and he does have that 1 backup still available. And you're going into this third game 1-1 rather than down 2-0. So while obviously in hindsight you can kind of see I didn't need to use the power play, I love in the moment the call of using it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree as well though. Like I said, you got to ensure that you at least get that game in if you know you have a sure shot. And it's all hindsight, right? We talked about it time and time again, right? You never know what's going to happen because for all we know, Clay could have had, let's say, a +4 or a +2, or a multitude of action cards to run to the very end. You never really know. That's the beauty of Uno, though, and just how scary the unknown can be as well, though. So. This has been a very good start to the series so far, Seth, here. Very fast-paced game, both sitting at 4 minutes, though. So, could we see the pace slow down a little bit here, or we expect these two to still play at a very ferocious pace? Because it seems like it's a very consistent speed right now.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns here going forward. One thing we do know is that neither of these individuals are going to be able to call upon 14 for the remainder of this series, having taken one victory in that card start each. Clay gets his first homestand here of this series. Clay, no 14, but everything else available. What are we going for?
12.
Going for 12 here, and I just realized as well that I'm kind of been surrounded by the canines in this one. We got Clay Wolf, Vapor's got the Grommet avatar here, and then we've got DJ with the Nick Wild. So I don't know. Should I be in danger for my life? Should I be hunkering down in the bunker here?
I think you'll be just fine.
Okay. Oh.
That's
Jeez.
terrifying.
Huh. Gonna go check that out. Okay.
Always seems some emergency happens when I'm also here too.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to run in yellow to start with here. 12 card
Nothing
start,
there.
so we're kind of nothing there. I mean, it may have been a bird
Never
that
know.
flown in and just flies away. I've had them happen. I got a window right beside me. I've had a couple of times a bird flies in, slams the window, flies away. Light switch into
Color
green.
swap over to green. Yep.
Oh, we're
Over to
back
yellow now. Back to yellow.
Ooh, the call
Haven't seen
back
the blues
there
or the
from
red
Clay.
yet. I'm gonna kind of see. Oh, Vapor had to draw though. Wondering if he's got anything here. No, he still draws again though, so could be already iced out in yellow, but a swap over to red should allow Vapor some breathing space here. Here's a double play here with the reverse and a red 2 though.
So now
Then a
both
red
of them
7
potentially iced out in yellow now.
over to green.
Clay made the light switch off of green. Does this ice him out? Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. Not good if you're Clay here. Over to red, though. Had an answer for that 0, but a wild over to green. I like that play, Seth.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely
I like
do.
that. If you had an indicator, had a notion that he had to draw a lot in the green. Clay's typing a little bit here, though, Seth. Could that be an
he
action
flushed
card? There it
Flushed
is.
the +4. So still a win if you're Vapor. You've been able to get that +4 out of Clay's hand. Granted, it sets you back 4 cards. And look at this. Had the call back to green. I don't know if that was off the +4, if he had that as another contingency plan.
It could have been. And Clay was sitting at 3 cards after that. And now this moves him a little bit back now. After that +4. After giving Vapor that +4, that is. But how about that? Triple play here, red wild. Is there any action cards left for Vapor to at least put a fight back? He does have a wild +4 on his arsenal.
So a flush out
We'll add it with a blue 5. And he has to draw. He draws the blue.
That's surprising.
What a great color change. Finds the answer for the 8, though.
Uh-oh, that
with the
could
green
be a
8.
flush out there on Vapor. Nope, Vapor able to go half off.
A color change over to red. Finding answers with the numbers at the moment here. With those color changes, Vapor will continue to roll along. And Clay has to draw. He's getting stalled on these colors here, Seth. It's not looking good. He's got answers for the numbers, but not for the colors, it seems like.
Vapor with the number efficiency there with his own card.
And how about
look
that?
At that? Finds the double skip off the green to close it out. Number efficiency there at the end. They both managed to flush out the +4s, and then from then on, it was a matter of trying to work with whatever you got in the return.
Oh, yeah. And that +4, that, using that +4 defensively ended up being a whole-on counterattack in a weird way, and it really helped change the trajectory of this game 3 here. Vapor, what a play call. I mean, when you're that close to the end zone, right, you have to play a card like that, and it worked out here. Oh, so close, and it makes you think, though, could it have been... I'm going to ask Clay this, though. Could you have used that power play, or were you wanting to save that for maybe a different game down the line?
I considered it. Just didn't feel like the right moment.
Gotcha.
I gotta ask too here, Vapor. I mean, we talk about the rapid style of play by you guys, and we saw it here. I don't know if there's enough time to really be able to consider card history when you're playing this fast. With those +4s that were hit on both sides there, how difficult was it to kind of try and figure out, rely on the number efficiency, and maybe more importantly, to get a read, since there were 4 freshies on either side, of trying to find that one color you could ice the other side out with?
I had a lot of confidence that he only had one red, that he just didn't get anything off the +4. You play this game for long enough, and you get that sort of vibe. Either his last card was a wild or a red, and just I knew he had I knew all he had was yellow. Like I knew he had no green and he had no red, so it was either all blue or all yellow. And then once he drew on the blue 5, I knew it was yellow. And I knew that having that yellow skip in the back pocket, it was over. If you switched to yellow 6, if he wilded to yellow, I had yellow skip, green skip. So I kind of knew I had it either way. It's just you play this game long enough, you start to get a feeler for these things.
Yeah, DJ Vapor talks about a vibe there. I mean, a lot of times when we end up seeing a series like this come down to the end and you see a +4 on each side played, normally that's going to be an indicator that we're going to go into a draw city. That wasn't the case here, as we saw Vapor do a good job of running the numbers down there to the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just one of those moments in time, man. I just love seeing these color changes. It's always so fun to see what they've got. It's just a lot. It's a game of chess. Basically, though, you don't know what they're going to get, and then you kind of figure it out as you go, right? Some deductive reasoning. And Vapor just found the answers. I mean, Clay did for a moment, but Vapor just was able to just get the punch back, that jab back, and it worked out. Again, I look back at that. I'm just going to think about that. I look back at that +4, right? And, having that confidence playing, well, he might not have anything else, and it worked out. So we'll see afterwards how this pans out.
There you see how Vapor says 1/3 of the cards played have been switches, which are the numbers that you want to see. Yeah, 42 light switches so far here between the two players in these first 3 games. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm not paying the electric bill. Nonetheless, down 2-1, Vapor takes these last 2 games. Clay gets another homestand here. Clay, you still got everything but 14. What are we looking for? Short's paying the electric bill. Okay, you know what? I'm fine with that.
Let's do another ditto. I'll go 12.
Okay, so how about this, DJ? Double callbacks here. The first time doesn't work out. You go back to the well again here. 14 in the first 2 games, 12 here in the next 2 games.
Yeah, I was about to say, so nice. You got to say it twice, and you might be feeling lucky this time around because it worked out for Vapor. Might work out for you.
Gonna start an action card here. Clay's gonna cap it off. 12-card start. We ended up seeing ammunition utilized there with the +4s in that 3rd game. Do we end up seeing ammunition here in this game is going to be the question. And also, kind of consider this. If you're Clay, you're going to have 2 away games coming up here. This is your final homestand for a bit. We already saw Vapor utilize a power play back in game 2. If you're Clay, he considered it back. More birds flying in his windows. He considered the power play back in game 3. If the opportunity arises here, do we see Clay say, all right, this is where I'm utilizing the first of my 2 power plays, go into this this next away game evened up at 2-2?
Yeah, I do feel like it's kind of that realm where you can get away with using that first power play. Obviously, we noted that Vapor used it way back in game 2, which really wasn't long ago, but point being, very early on, and I think a lot of people have it, but it could be, I hate saying this, but it could be like a new meta kind of thing, right? You might have to just use it, again, just to ensure you got it. You don't want to regret that mistake, regret that in the long haul, even if you don't make it farther enough, just to know that you got a set in, right? And they've been doing, again, back over to these color switches here, over to green this time around, though. All numbers at the moment here.
And I'm not trying to manifest anything, but this is a DJ Curtis called series here, and we ended up having some rapid fire play in the Cody versus Tapir game earlier on today. We got to games 4 and 5. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was game 4. It might have been game 5. It ended up going 25 plus minutes. So we'll see if we're going to continue with this rapid style of play to stay under the 5-minute mark here with these games, or will there be that one game that these players' endurance are going to be tested?
I'm sure there's going to be a moment in time, right? That's going to end up being a draw city here in one of these games, right? Where both will be stalled out, or they just simply just have to adjust accordingly here. Oh, had to play the red wild. There we go. Good color change here. Clays just knows that's the color he wants. Your Vapor, you want to change that real quick here, but he's just going to keep rolling along in the red. But he draws.
Ooh,
Clay draws at
wow.
red, and a swap over to yellow here. So Vapor now knows that Clay is stalled out in the red at the moment here. But what does Clay have to maybe combat maybe a future run from Vapor in this case?
I feel like something has to be flushed. Yeah, there's the +4.
He sticks with yellow here with a +4 though.
Interesting. So
He stays in the color.
So they both must need yellow here to close out.
That might be the case.
Oh no! He's iced out in yellow. That's...
He said, nice move, it was over. Now Clay has to draw in the yellow here. It'll be the little glimmer of hope that Vapor needs here.
That couldn't have been a typo.
maybe
I'm not sure about staying in the yellow.
How about
there.
that?
I don't know how that one was going to
Triple
work
play.
out.
Oh, it makes you wonder why stay in the color yellow here. You
Yeah.
could have tried a different color. Does Clay have anything? Because Vapor's got that Uno left. He had that red wild. Saving the power play here, though. Wanted to use it for a different
Oh, he had
game.
another one.
Had another one. Wow, that's risky. That's ballsy.
Ends it on the reverse.
Just to even stay in that yellow, and it almost backfired, right? And now they're gonna draw.
Now we'll
so
go into that draw city.
That might be that
Man.
draw city, right? As manifested, but back over to green 2 here, so it wasn't lasting too long. Red 2 this time around.
Think about this if you're Vapor. Yes, you were close to the brink of Uno twice, but you've now flushed out not one but 2 +4s on the other side that could have easily been utilized if you were Clay to find you a chain for a finish. So,
Perhaps so, yeah.
In a sense, while it's a
It's
loss
a kind of a
the
win.
game right now, it's definitely a win.
It's a net gain right now, yeah. With having to drain those cards, because, you know, it's an emergency glass, basically. Emergency. I mean, it worked out. And now they're both having a draw here. Now shots are going to be fired here with the green 1. Back over to yellow.
Clay brings it back to yellow here.
Super aggressive with the color changes. I've seen this time and time again. And
Oh, and
now stuck here, yellow 2. It just seems like Clay just gets stalled out. He's
Yeah.
just getting ISO'd a lot here in these games. That's what I've noticed here. Vapor has the answers, but Clay just doesn't seem to have any kind of momentum. It sputters right as he gets that momentum. It just stops.
I can only assume that on a number of these where he's getting iced out, he's hoping that maybe he can also find Vapor iced out and use number efficiency to get over to another color, and it's not working out. Vapor's had the answer in that color to be able to get off of the number that Clay wants.
Yeah, I think Clay just doesn't have the numbers to answer it, to switch the colors, because that's kind of what I've noticed with his play style, is that he usually swaps the colors, maybe rolls it in here and there, but I've noticed a lot of color changes specifically from Clay, but Vapor knows he can just stick with the red for the time being, typing a little bit longer here, so screams a little bit. Right, he says it's kind, so this is going to be a good run of the end.
City.
Should be a game here to finish it off. And there it is. How about that for a draw city there? Not sure what Clay could have done differently, in my honest opinion. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you had much ammo on you there, and you just kept getting stalled out, it looked like, right?
Every time I cleared a color, I drew it again.
Dang, yeah, that sounds about right.
I wonder too, Clay, is going back to that play there, your first +4, you kept it in yellow. What was the strategy play on that?
Pure defensive.
Okay. Drew only
straightforward to the point.
Man,
Yeah.
Vapor getting lucky there on those top deck draws there, and I mean, Vapor, we were talking about the fact, I know you were deafened there, but being able to draw out not 1+4, but 2+4s there, now knowing that they weren't on the other side, what kind of freedom did that allow you there, along with the luck of those top decks there, to be able to string that run together?
Jesus
Could you,
Christ!
could you
Look at the
repeat that
skip
question?
difference.
Could you repeat that question?
You were able to flush out not just 1 but 2+4s on the other side, plus with the combination of what you were saying there, those connectors you were able to draw during the draw city. How much freedom did that give you to be able to string together that run to the end?
Uh, yeah, it gave me a decent amount of freedom. Clay was really difficult to read. This game, I had no idea what he had. I was just lucky that whatever he didn't have was good for me. And yeah, down the stretch there, I went green one, yellow one, and that's really when it all started to fall apart for him because I had the red +2 yellow +2 yellow skip yellow reverse run, and then 7s and 9s and 3s out the wazoo. So yeah, I think like with the utmost of respect, like I don't try to be disrespectful to any of my opponents, but he kind of did that one to himself. A lot of drawing, weird +4 play, and I like understand that it's all defensive, and I understand that I got very lucky with how I drew that game, but a little bit of a weird game on Clay's end there, really difficult to read.
Well, Vapor, you're going to get this next homestand here up 3-1. No 14, no 12 available. What are we looking at here for game number 5? All right, so we're going to go right in the middle of where we've been. Go with a 13 card start. Clay still does have those 2 power plays available, and I will state this as well. I know I keep harkening back to, okay.
What a starting card that
Wow.
is.
Vapor
Holy
caps it off
Toledo.
here. So at least we know that 1+4 is not going to be in the conversation any longer. But
Indeed so.
I know that I keep harping back to that matchup we just had wrap up earlier on today between Tapir and Cody, but Cody was down. What was it, 4-1, and he was able to come back and draw us into a game 9. So if you're tuning in just now and you're seeing Vapor up 3-1, do not think that this matchup is over by any stretch of the imagination. There can be a lot of circumstances where Clay could get right back into this thing, and we could see this go the distance.
And the thing is, Clay has 2 power plays in his disposal to that of Vapor's 1, though. But this is a good time. If you know you have that faint of a chance, you gotta use that power play.
Yes.
I feel like this is you have to at least use it if you're that close. Whether offensively or defensively, though, unless you're super confident in your hand, this is a golden opportunity for that. I know you probably would want to save it unless you have to be super confident not to use it, though, I feel.
Ooh, Clay was iced out. In blue, Vapor going to open up the door there with the initiation over to red with the wild. I don't know if you're Vapor, do you maybe consider using your last power play here if you've got the hand and need that 1 connector as well to take a 4-1 advantage?
He could, but he can save it for game 6 if needed. Here we go. Aggressive play here. Staying on the +2, though, so gotta be a bit careful here. Is this a huge run? Could this be a huge run? We've seen it time and time before.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look
And
at that.
how about that?
Uses the power play.
Couldn't use it in time.
Couldn't use it, yeah.
Wow.
He was able to draw out the power play there. Vapor now with 0 power plays to use here for the rest of the series.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, had to just to make sure. Lucky for you guys, I'm actually the GOAT, so I'll win with a wasted power play. All right. Well,
Yeah, I mean, very
up ahead
lucky
3-1 right now, so very good opportunity, though. Very good.
Lucky for Clay getting in that final command there, too, to end off on the
Indeed so.
yellow
Had to
1.
draw out the red. Had
Yep.
to draw out the red. So, that's big.
Clay finds a way over to green. So I believe that is Pandora's box open. No, we've already been in green. Never mind. Vapor with a little check. Little double play there.
Yeah, gave him 2 extra cards. So it could have been a game ender there, at least for Clay to get that game win in. Goes to a halt for the time being. Stalled out once again. Both always seem to get closer and closer. And then just something defensively happens that just denies them.
Vapor
Clay was
brings
oh
it
so
back to
close that time
blue.
around. Having to
Ice is
draw
red.
here.
Boy, both have been doing a good job here with the light switches, trying to find that ISO. Vapor keeps going back to blue. Clay brings it over to red. Vapor might be looking maybe for a wraparound to get it back to another color. Yep, he'll wrap around to
Wow.
green.
Quad play here. 3 reverses followed by a green 6 here. And Clay's got nothing.
So Clay's got to be 2-colored right now.
I'm
Red and yellow.
thinking the same. Either that or he's saving up an action card or 2, right? That could be another thing, maybe like a wild. Oh, speaking of a wild, there it is. There's one from Vapor here with a green. Clay's got an answer for
Oh, he
this,
did
so
have a green. Okay, so that
he did have a green here. Oh, +4 over to yellow here. Does Clay have to draw
this might be a finish.
or anything, but even a finish here,
I was
that
gonna
pretty much
say, you
does
wouldn't
it.
play that +4 unless you had a finish there.
Unless you had a run going on. So
Well, the power play was in vain at the beginning there, but
it
Vapor
worked out
able
either way. It
to
still worked out.
bring it out with a W still, so not a wasted power play there. And now a 4-1 advantage going into game 6.
Yeah, I figured I'll ask the rhetorical to Clay here. Did you have a run to the end before that defensive power play?
I have to go back and look. I don't remember.
It wasn't defensive, actually.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, my apologies.
He played his thing. He played his thing before I played the power
Oh,
play.
okay, yeah.
And it didn't end up going through how I wanted it to. So
I would.
Yeah, it
I
just
waited
was
too
like
long to do
weird.
it.
That's why I was like, it looked kind of defensive, so that's why I thought it was. So my bad on that. But
it was supposed to be defensive, but it didn't end
Yeah.
up happening. And better for that because it let him play his +2s and gave me all that ammo.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Confirmed. Bot hates me.
But yeah, you do have now you're still down quite a bit. So, and you still have 2 power plays. I feel like it's like, do you think it's that good time? I feel like it's probably that kind of time to start using them, you know? At least it
Quite
feels
possible.
like it. Yeah.
We'll see what Clay's able to do here. Still has those 2 power plays here. Vapor
Jesus
currently
Christ.
with none. Vapor going to look to close out this series. It's got
Oh
another
my
homestand here. Game 6. And
Low card
wow,
count.
we are going all
Oh.
the way to the cellar here, taking potential ammunition out of the conversation. Earlier today, we had a Plan A 6-card start. Let's see what happens here with 5, as we're going to start out in blue, and Vapor going to draw immediately right off of it. So too will Clay.
Gonna get a probably initial draw city off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, here we go. Yeah, everybody's drawing now. Just a matter of who strikes first.
Now it's a matter, too, is if you end up getting blue, well, that answers that question. Do you, like, hold on to it, fade off of blue for later on? But Vapor
You
plays
could.
the blue 9, and now finds the light switch with it over into green.
Does Clay have an answer? Does he have any numbers to follow through? He does.
Little ditto
Both with green
play there
6s,
from
ditto
Vapor.
play. Vapor has to draw here. Clay having some numbers in his pocket.
Another ditto, self-ditto there from Clay.
How about that? Yeah. Yellow 5, though, this time around. And Clay's got an answer here.
Wow, we've
Got some
been
colors in his disposal right now here.
We've been in the mid-numbers here, 5s and 6s.
The dangerous part of a low card count is that you could have a really good hand off the bat. And that's the scary part, though. Do you have to play defensively? Do you have to, just wait and see how things go? With a card count like that, it's highly unlikely you get a real good draw, but you never know.
And that's where the power play can come and
Exactly.
be a big factor, and being that connector when you don't have that ammo card or that connector card. The power play could be that Link to the Broken Chain as we'll venture over into red. Vapor with the initiation over into there, off the yellow. Down to 0 sugar here from Vapor. I mean, we're at... Oh, Vapor brings it back to
wild.
yellow, and this is at 2 cards left. Clay's iced
Oh,
out.
Clay's
This
got
could
nothing.
be it. It is a
Wow.
double skip to close it out.
I
Not
don't-
much in ammunition at all. It all relied on the
Yeah.
number efficiency and the
Oh my
light switching
god.
there.
The skips is so fucked. The wilds too.
Yeah, it just
7 to
seemed pretty
2, 12 to
one-sided for you
3.
there.
What the fuck?
It seemed like looked like it felt pretty one-sided in terms of the draws there. I mean, maybe hindsight is bliss, but do you think you could have maybe used perhaps a power play there? But I don't think that really would have meant anything different there. It looked like it seemed
Yeah,
like it was kind of a stall to the inevitable.
It seems that my 1 power cards that I had gave him like 3. Like that was the ratio.
Yeah, that kind of seemed like the trend. I felt
No,
like it
this-
kind
I
of
mean,
felt like the
if we
trend for
look-
you.
This
If we
tracks.
look back over the series as a whole, my starting hands were like okay at best, like 2 or 3 power cards, except for like game 3 where I had a really stacked one but just couldn't get it to come. That was game 1 where it was stacked. I just couldn't get it to come together. All of my hands weren't like spectacular. It's just like the timing of stuff, like the switches, and you like every time you played a +2, it felt like it gave me like a wealth of ammunition, and the draw cities
Yeah.
were fairly kind. So
So
I wouldn't say my starters were great, but yeah, I got lucky in draw city, and your +2s a lot of the time just gave me
that's
basically
insane.
everything I needed.
I normally would start with 1 +2 in my hand, and then all number cards, and then everything else would come from draw city, and I would just be basically on the back foot. So the thing is, though, games 4 through 6, I had all numbers the duration of the game for the most part.
You know, that's really weird because it feels like there's a lot of series where both players have a lot of ammo. Like I feel every time I play Cody Smart in practice, everyone has so much ammo. And like I don't know that you have all numbers. So I'm playing assuming you have ammo. So like I'm sorry for how
No, it's
bad the
fine.
ammunition was. I can't take responsibility for what the bot does, but like I wish the series was more competitive.
It would be slightly closer if game 2 I was able to play my hand, but you still would have, I think, 6 skips on me, still 5 wilds, and we'd be tied with reverses.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some things you just can't explain.
No, it's fine. This is my curse. Always be like on the verge of Super League and then falling short. That's my
Like,
job.
I would say like I am sorry for like the result and how it went, but I'm not sorry for pushing 100% still, because that's how
You get
I
that
feel like
back.
it's unfair. It's unfair to my opponents for me not to go 100%.
Like getting into Super League form as well. Have that momentum in preparation for Super League as well. So I mean, we talk about all the unknowns and everything. A lot of times we talk all the time about this bot meta, whether it's the initial draw, whether it's what you get on Draw City, whether what you get on the return of the +2s and the +4s. I mean, it definitely seemed like in terms of this series, it looked like the bot played a huge part into the outcome of this one. You talk about things that we can't explain. This was a best of 9 series that ended up ending in less than a half hour with DJ Curtis on commentary. Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, it's just crazy to how short this game was, though. Honestly,
I will say, I literally, outside of that 1 wild red that I didn't use the power play on, never got an opportunity to use it.
Yeah,
I was never that close to victory because I just never had the connecting cards.
Well, just talking
and
in terms
I
of
felt that though.
Yeah.
I felt that a lot, because I feel like and this is coming from how this season's been for me though too. When you're like, you just don't have the cards on you, even for your initial hand. Even if you just try to adapt, just sometimes you just don't have that answer. And I felt that I can spiritually relate to that, like to a T.
Yeah, at least
With
I
how
wasn't
this series
swept,
was.
Yes, but I do think that this was a rough loss for me.
But I mean, let's consider this as well here, Clay. You know, here in Apocalyptic August, a great run for you nonetheless. You were able to take down a 5 seed in Brock, a 2 seed in KT.
If it ain't Super League, it ain't worth it.
Well, I mean, you still got that percentage. There's still a percentage chance that you can
5%
still get in.
chance for me. Okay, let me put it this way. Whenever there's a 50% chance, I still lose.
Well, you got a
I'm
2 and a
not
5
banking
seed
on it.
defeated here on your resume here as well, and they take that into consideration. So, you know, it's never say never. If as long as there's a percentage higher than 0, never say never, because we've definitely seen this is the Swarm 16, and there's a lot of players that are swarming around that cut line there, that conversation.
I lost in 6. There's no way I make it, but I appreciate the optimism.
Well, Vapor, you get the chance to move on. You're going to be fighting to see if you can maybe have back-to-back tournament victories. We don't know who your next opponent's going to be yet. That gets determined tomorrow morning, Cap versus Yoshi. But your thoughts on playing either one of them here as you look to advance past the Explosive 8 now?
What? Sorry, I wasn't locked in.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just asking, you know, we don't know who your future opponent's going to be here in this next round. That gets determined tomorrow in Cap versus Yoshi. But your thoughts on either one of them that moves on, playing them here in the Explosive 8 as you look for back-to-back tournament victories to close out 2025?
I mean, I've never played Captain in tournament. I've played Yoshi twice. Me and Yoshi are 1-1 against each other. Me and Captain obviously never played. I'd rather play Yoshi. I don't like low tier like Captain does, except when I'm up by a lot. And that's just something that I don't, that's not an element that I live in, so I'll have to practice that a lot. But it would be really fun to have a rubber match with Yoshi to see kind of who's their like upper midfield guy over the course of the last 3 years of MRE Uno. Yeah, that would be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing that match and whoever wins there.
Well, DJ, an interesting series here in the Swarm 16. 2 really good players, but it just kind of seemed like the luck factor favored one over the other. Your closing thoughts here on this matchup here?
Yeah, I think this result doesn't really reflect on how Clay is as a player, because sometimes just like you said, games like these just tend to happen, and yeah, it sucks. I mean, like I said, I've been on the bad end of the stick of things like these where you just get swept, where you literally just have nothing on you though. So we'll just
Glad I wasn't swept.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the one, I guess the one little band-aid, little silver lining you could maybe take out of this, right, is not a whole complete sweep, but a lot shorter game than I thought I would, knowing how the trend has it been with the games we've done here, Seth, right? Usually there's one game that's an outlier that takes like a whole lunch break, basically, right? Yeah. But I mean, we'll both have plenty of time to eat lunch now, though. Feasting in these games, though, with so many different winners and the variety of play styles, right? It makes Uno so fun.
Yeah, shout out to nobody mentioning any few food references in this series as well. But
would have been hungry.
Yeah, right. Take a look here. We kind of talked about it here. This is the Bunker Region bracket. Vapor moving on to the Explosive 8. We'll find out his opponent tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern. Cap versus Yoshi to see who's got a chance of moving on to the Final Four. And then this is the second of 4 streamed games that we have here today. In about an hour and a half, we'll be back here in the Tunnel region, 3 p.m. Eastern, with Myth taking on Gone. Late night action this evening at 10 p.m. Eastern, as we'll remain in the Tunnel region. We'll see Andy taking on Christian Tago. Thank you all for tuning in to the coverage of this matchup here between Vapor and Clay. Vapor moving on. Thanks to Yoshi for being our referee. DJ joining me here on commentary. We'll see you guys a little bit later on this afternoon at 3 for Myth vs. Gone as we continue on the Swarm 16 here for Apocalyptic August in T5 of the 2025 MRE Uno Tournament.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.